no na His Excellency John Dramani Mahama Ekase Gabon fo ayade pa na anu yenche bia na President Mahama Eko United Nations ekoka se kwan abrofo no ede na nanom konko asomo no entwa ye kranti UN enyin tum se bonekasia odaseni ayetia ninua UN for no ekokoto aban Gabon eto ede mayen se Ghana na mo na yeture ne kwan so ano no His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ebo Gabon mampenya baso se ba ne sa no obeta Ghana fo Enwechi eno se wohwe Africa Continental Free Trade Area na headquarters no enkran enewo ne nyane se bibrem ye kan ye ho abu ne yetime didididwa ewo ye ho ne sayo ne yesikatam ne ade enso ebetimi agina ne nan so na afen so de fa umasua afemu nso no ehon so no akasa kakra efa ho.
To thank you for the support you gave to Ghana in the resolution that was moved, historic resolution that was moved on the floor of the UN General Assembly. Our meeting today takes place against the backdrop of a defining moment for Africa and for the wider international community. While our continent continues to demonstrate remarkable resilience and promise, we also face pressing challenges such as the global economic uncertainty, climate change, food insecurity, public health concerns, and complex security threats. These realities make it imperative for African countries to work more closely together on the basis of African-led solutions. It is therefore heartening for me that Ghana and Gabon converge on many regional and international questions. As important nations situated in West and Central Africa respectively, our countries are well placed to strengthen cooperation between our two regions and to contribute meaningfully to the realization of the African Union Agenda 2063, as well as to the successful implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area. As the host country for the African Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat, Ghana is committed to advancing intra-African trade, industrialization, and economic integration.
Enya etwegu ye His Excellency John Dramani Mahama enwechi no ena yera esan editu dwabie mu ese na impempie no ye ka yentimi enyi umesua emfiri mu umesua hu ye pa ena afi nso se ye de ye nkrofo be fantitia papa mu human capital no enkoba se ye nnamu saa keke na edwuma sem no mo ne ade nti eba se ye treni ye ho a eno so bebo amamebu no anya dwuma ye na afi ye umesua ho sem so etimi akonkan e o Ghana na afi Gabon entem.
Education and human capital development should continue to serve as vital pillars of our partnerships. Greater collaboration amongst our universities, technical institutions and research institutions, including through scholarship programs, facility exchanges, scientific research, and technical and vocational skill training, all these will contribute significantly to building the skilled workforce that Africa requires for transformation. Climate change presents another important area for strategic collaboration. Gabon's internationally recognized leadership in forest conservation and Ghana's commitment to sustainable development provide a firm basis for closer cooperation in biodiversity conservation, carbon markets, renewable energy, climate resilience, sustainable forest management, and advocacy for increased climate financing for Africa. We should also strengthen cooperation between our public institutions through regular policy consultations, technical exchange, capacity building initiatives, and the sharing of best practices. Such collaboration will enhance institutional effectiveness and support the implementation of our respective national development priorities.
Anya etwegu His Excellency John Dramani Mahama enwechi ena Gabon mampenyi His Excellency Bryce Olingu Ngwema enso editu dwase oda mampenyi Mahama siye papa ni Ghana for dayase se Gabon for dodo na be school ha ebiba University of Ghana biko Cape Coast ni ade ye school fees ni ade wo form ode tototo aman ahodo no ho a na omoba nso ye gi omo fel so ntiama Gabon for dodo na enije se ombeba African countries ni bimu other African countries ni bimu abesua ade ne titiriw ene Ghana since say omebeko Europe ne America.
I'd like to congratulate Ghana for the continued effort that seeks to improve local transformation of cocoa, as I mentioned earlier. Transforming means to create wealth for our continent, and I think that as Pan-Africans, all our African states must be inspired by this model. As I like to say, dear big brother, I would like to express my deep gratitude for the welcome that you have granted to the Gabonese students here in Accra. This student community here, as you know, would increase after the recent measures that were taken with respect to decisions that the French government took regarding scholarships for foreign students. And I think that it will be proper for us to look into this direction to see how universities here in Ghana can welcome our students. We cannot compromise the future of our youth and also the construction of our universities in Gabon, because the scholarships fees in France have increased, and we have decided to redirect our youth to other African countries. It is the same training that is available in our fellow African countries, and I think that we can have discussions in this regard.
Mothers FM, yes, some pa.
Gabon man penina yetini king.
Yefimu wa mampeni atina ekase ne emoremu ewo Ghana mrahye bedwefie na enano fiada uboremu mrahye bedwefie dia na chese mpenyifo no mo atwenemu se anka eye budget review ne ho debate ebekoso itan se ye wada na debate no na se budget na ye de tudwa nti fiada ne dia na ko mo atwenemu pa se ebekenkan ne ababebobo ho nyam si dabi munya boche committee ne kra wo mo kakwadwendwenyo madodo na ho meme data client na se nti obi bia nkogogina na me aduma won beba dwada ne pinada so no na debate no o show so yetumi aye ebobo ho na nya wose de ka ho ye de aka ne yifim de yifim na je na brewe yi papa kwam debate no ahya ase no na wo boremu mashebe de fie dia mame abna ose asare mashebe de ni mama mfo wo ewo atiwa east wo sorry ye de wo say Mr Speaker mame nka assemby budget in the ato now so we share budget mu pa Ghana photo sound for what the two dwana we share afim pinu ene edunu numa sika yes say ye di numa wo man Ghana masina the broni be say expenditure no we share na 18.5 billion Ghana cedis and troppable Ghana cedis now so first half no ene 2025 first half now so yaba we do mu first half biom first half na biom our 2026 there first half he there sika na there boom wamana homne so wo dwane woni bebi wo dwane akwa chese aban wo boka pa wo di sika ne nyafo na so wo hwe enkrata ne mu pa wo nhye de hu bebi potia sika so akakɔhye wo hwe na kwan bi krampo a omuntumi enya fama ni na so wo ma twerɛtwerɛ e de ahye ma wo chese sika expenditure no edu 31.3 billion Ghana cedis a wo dwen ho a wonti ase yentie ne nsɛm no epi.
Mr. Speaker, for expenditure same time last year, half year 2025, we saw expenditure fall by 18.5 billion. But this year, half year, expenditure is down by 31.3 billion Ghana cedis. Government is therefore not balancing the books, Mr. Speaker. It's balancing the books by just not spending. And if spending, it's not spending at the right places. Mr. Speaker, capital expenditure saw a downward trend of 14.3 billion. And for me, an MP from Etiwa East, where we have the Osino and you name Konongo bypass, you not spending on capital expenditure means I am not getting the roads completed. And that is a sad story. So if government comes to say that I'm living within my means, but is not spending in the right places, Mr. Speaker, economic activity is not flourishing, and it will not help develop the economy. We are stifling growth by not spending in the right places. Mr. Speaker, again, what I hear the minister talk about is the fact that yes, they have given money to the assemblies. But have you checked the Auditor General's reports that all the 3 billion the minister increased allocations to the district assemblies to the tune of 3 billion? But have you checked the infractions? That has also escalated. So you don't just give the monies, but you also strengthen internal controls.
Anyway, so and mashebe de mama for one our sagnerigu on munya for a taisa was say jai Jai na woka ne de jai expenditure de nkahwe isan se wo hwa Masha bejafo nyina ye ni agye esan se fotosanfo wo baaye no ensem obehwehwe gu ho nyina ma utumi se ye nsem bi emu hwam we de eye perfumed long green rice ne yi wan ne bia emu tuhwa se je se wo chire kwa obete se ampa emu no emu tuhwa esan se nsem ode baaye no na ye nsem de ubore mu amanfo amanso amanane nyina se obi hu se Ghana economy no ekoyi.
Mr. Speaker, the performance of a budget should reflect in the livelihoods of people on all economic ages. If you look at household, inflation is relatively stable within the 8 to 10% inflation band. That guarantees predictability and easy planning. Mr. Speaker, if you have an economy that has an environment of interest bank lending rate falling from about 32% to 15.6%. Ghana reference rate falling from about 29% to 10.06%. And you also have the policy rate falling from about 29% to 14%. That guarantees easy and cheaper source of capital for private sector. And I'm not surprised that access to private capital has grown by 22.8%. Mr. Speaker, Ghana indeed, after the presentation of the media review, we had one press conference addressed by 3 speakers. Mr. Speaker, it is worth noting to understand that the external sector of Ghana has improved. Ghana is now respected. Ghana is no longer described as a junk economy. All rating agencies across the globe has rated Ghana stable with a positive macro outlook.
And we so no manya for Patrick ya boama wono so ede to aso dia wasi o munjai. Munya kra na budget hwinim uborem ewa ebu akwa anya adwuma ko hono baabi bia mebu na wo hono wo mu hia adwuma aye omo pese omo ye adwuma so munya adwuma ene da nchen so kwakua form wo honom so wo mu nsu wo mu segu wo mu ti esan se wo hwe koko bo baabi kodu ye na nka na kufa do aban edi tuama kokofo na mpempe aban abehwan so na akofem krakrakra na ha dwene eni timpanifo anhwe hu se botomu no aye dry na mumu no enya CD stabilization ho asem na yeka.
Mr. Speaker, I've mentioned the Jumako Road, I've mentioned the military barracks. The people of Jumako needs jobs, but he decided to send them a military barracks. That's his problem. Mr. Speaker, the specialist hospital, Cape Coast has one of the best hospitals. He's decided to site a specialist hospital over 850 million Ghana cedis in the Jumako. That's fine, but the cocoa farmers in the Jumako have still not been paid, Mr. Speaker. The cocoa farmers in the Jumako want to be paid, and that is what Ghanaians want. Mr. Speaker, this House, I'm proud that you are a member of the committee. We passed the Tree Crop Development Authority Act, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, under Section 26 of the Act, we mentioned the tree crops that this Act was going to support, including oil palm. In the 2026 main budget, he came here to tell us that he was going to spend over $500 million to revive the oil palm sector.
Now, when I for Patrick Yabua Manisi Ape and a professor titles be you one so as a regional namon so I was on a dear when you be I can't say about Bonkwa and not the back call Ediama Ghana, your photo sound for instance, I wish share budget no, I'll bet to you and I won't say Edana Kwan so come easy no or see we and the Ghana, yes, share.
Mr. Speaker, I think the Honorable Minister delivered for me what will be one of the most inspiring statements in this House. It encapsulates indeed the Ghana that we want. He told us the country the present administration inherited. He told us how he worked hard with his team to clear up the mess. And if he had stopped there, he would have been lamenting. But instead of lamentation, he took us through the structures that he used to stabilize the economy, and he assured us that the stabilization was not a destination. It was a price that we needed to pay as an entry, and from there we were to make progress. Mr. Speaker, he further told us plans that the government has to ensure that with the future is properly taken care of. For instance, he mentioned to us that money has been set aside for a project that is yet to commence, the Accra-Kumasi Expressway. This is one of the first time that even before a project is started, sword is cut, assurances is given of money that has been made available.
Mothers FM, yes, some pa.
Professor Titus Bayu, one on any cocotte ya wade sansemi atudwa na efan enano ya wada budgeta ef Ghana for the sound for Dr. Kissel atoforsen ebejina mu editudwa emaye.
Yemfri we ne monre mu ahensam ne enkopie mu ewo menhia ahemfie enra Asanteman Council no eko nhyiamu kunini na ensem dodo na no mbobo so emu baako agi hini ene se Kenya se number 2 hene ewo ahafo mantam no mu eho nana kwabena nsia abebio wedi ekwenya free 1937 okalkwetia de besi sabra be 89 years ni papa no wo chese ekwenya no wedi pa na osene hema aye ni amo ho sembi ana wetu ohema no nana ekua nti kwama wetu na de so otu na de so no ohema no ante ne ho ase eno ma asem ne so menhia sosorao empanyin tena ase no eno moto nsa frɛ empanyimfo ne se omomra na asem no yenka ene wenkrobo na ansa na ye ba betu ohema ne mpo no nana kwabena nsia kwedu obo ye ne se nana ahema no e de ahemfie ne letterhead enenam etwitwa asase tondi no mu na ade ede ahemfie letterhead atro letters bebre anana enim ho hwe nti saa ne ma no gina so otu no nti letter nana ensia egina so etu wa hema no ekopie mu ewo menhia ho na menhia secretary kenkan krata no na yentie se ne ekoye.
Orders of the Queen Mother insulting the sub-chiefs of Ahafu, Kenya as number 2, calling them thieves, morons, among other names. There are other video recordings as well, which prove the Queen's elder sister and Queen's elder sister's son insulted my wife and I. On the last episode, the Queen Mother together with her elder sister and brother stood in the midst of all the chiefs, of the sub-chiefs at the palace, insulting my authority as Omahini and the authority of the traditional council. 10. The Queen Mother has continuously disregarded traditional authority by refusing to appear before the Kenyan's number 2 traditional council and her family elders, despite several summons. In light of these suits, which sabotage the tranquility for a quiet environment, solidarity and customary traditions of Ahafu Kenya's number 2 and the Great Kingdom, I humbly write to inform Your Majesty and the esteemed Asanteman Council that Nana Ekwia Timpama II no longer serves as the Ahafu Kenya's number 2 traditional council.
Eni etwegu ye menhia secretary eni echi na Kenya's number 2 hene Nana Kwabena Insia abebio na ne dimpa ehye adakamu ede bone samrane eyo odene ho dade akon ono so eka na asem
Lata no dura me ti o se ma ne no wo mumi oye bibia oye by force ya je se oye ni tumi ene ye bi na o tele ati me ti wo e no ma ne no bibia ye be ni treno ya ka je na o Omwe, Jesus, ya Azimanda Sagrano, Yanjay, ya Mimi na Menjaso, or Imanagia, ya Pipia one way, ya Omania, Tina at Temple.
Enia etwegu ye Kenya's number 2 hene Nana Kwabena Insia abebio odene ho dade akon na enwachi ohima wotu no Nana Ekwia nti kwama ono so eka nsem sei
me kono me sa chiama onye so e ma me ba ka kire me se ne yere se obeka sa me ho a adi se me bu nkotojo wa ne yere nim e pa me chewo amba me bu nkotojo wa ne yere nim e pa me chewo o ka kire me se ohene yere ɛne ɔhema man ne wɔtumi na ɛnɛ ɔno ɔhene yere wakyerɛ sɛ ɔwɔtumi sinema ɛnneɛma kɔ so a na adɔntenhene ɛne nsafoahene yɛra kyami wadawoma baabi a mete no akyi pɛn na yɛ bɛn na mete sɛ obi ɛɛpa nnua nti mesoma mekyia me sɛ wɔnkɔhwɛ deɛ nnipa no yɛ na wɔmfrɛ ne ma me kɔɛ no yɛ ɔbaa no bɛrima ne abu nnua no ɔbaa no baeɛ no wɔ sɛ nananom bi ɛna de hɔ abɔ ne paa sɛ ɔmu baa no mu nnua na m sɛ daabi ɛnyɛ amansan nyinaa deɛ nti mesrɛ no na ebi koraa na meba onim ho biribiara nti ɔma me nkɔyi n'asotire ansa na watoa n'adwuma nso so onim ho bia watoa n'adwuma no so ankyɛ mewɔ hɔ na adɔntenhene ne nsafoahene ɛbaa m'anim adɔntenhene baeɛ a wɔbɛkasa tia me paa kakyɛ me sɛ tumi bɛɛ na mewɔ sɛ wɔno de adwuma ma obi a meekɔka hyɛ nnipa ne sɛ ɔnyae deɛ wɔɔyɛ
ɛne atwagu yɛ nana ekua ntikwama Kenya se na matu hima na ne hene etu no 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 so ekyerɛkyerɛ ne nsɛm mu na otufo sɛ etu King Solomon nyansabo akwa nyame de adom no oti afa ne afa nyina awie ye no ɛna ɔse ɔde ne ho dade ako nana kwabena nsia ababio saa de wo sɛ wo ya de bia metufu wuntie ɛna ne abedru hei ogina so etu na de so
Sama hefi ana na ase.
Sama hefi ana na ose.
Ono na no biane ma.
Ono na no biane ma odi.
Ya de na nya Kenya se number 2.
Na nya Kenya so so mo dey.
Ya si wo ho ya ba pa ni ma ni dia ni mo kopa ma okose en Kenya se ma wo try.
Sasa be o to ho. So ba pa ni na ko se ma no ma unya. Kenya se no bi try.
Etie. Ma ni ma ba bi try.
Ono ma no bi try.
Etie. Number 2 da so nyina ya Kenya se. Kenya se na asase ni nyina.
O se number 2 da so nyina Kenya se number 1. What does that say no? I'm not going to be. So you say, "What is that?" I don't do it.
From I want to. We need him out.
We need him out. Only this and you know.
I don't know if I come in and pay you for account. You go back and no more.
What else come in and work out? Come on.
Who was your phone?
Who was your phone?
Who we are?
Yeah, who we are near Ganyasa? Come over, sir. Yeah.
Where you are someone was so.
Yeah, so very as well as away. Yeah, or more than to get in front of so.
We are fucking on the way.
We are fucking as a down the way. Yeah,
I go out there want to be in the view.
So, not
Yes, I'm Mothers FM.
Opim so ene yetene nkanabra na otu Kenya se number 2 hene ade so odene ho dade akọ na kwabna nsia ababie sesi tu na ade so na ohema na Kenya se number 2 hene 2 na ade so no otu fa sande ne kunya amane biem achia me binum so wo ho a na nanu tutu wo made so otu fa asande wondibre amema won biem ene enu achianfo nketo ano nifa ne hwan benkumfo no na omo so ye ne bi otumfo wasake omunyina krontin hene ne so no de ne husun onkoso ndi ne kunya nti sesie no ohema ne mpemfo kingmakers ne kokomti ekua na afi amamre ne amane esafata no maye no moyi ohene foforo
piao Awusia yentu asumfimu ewa santimantem epiemu ewa enkampumpunyi mantem ha se dia tema Newtown ene die ni akyeremu ewo na mesom paso die enya honedie pa enya honedie nsem ene nam nti hun fi hun di hun ni na kyese wokwa na Kristo ni won hyeda na Kristo ni papa enje so wodi hun ni na na borom ewo tema Newtown dia mpanifo kyerɛ sɛ bia ya yetonton enam ɛho no enam no se wo moton nyoma ne wo ho no wo mo agasa wo mo nhyeda eni wo ho ni bia ya moton nyoma nso won so ho nso de kon ɛho de not no ɛna mo nyi obi yi o masotire se mo meboa yen se ne be ya honedie nsem ebetumi ama no akɔ enkan tin prempren empanifo kopie mo ho no mo dia na bia ya yeton enam ɛwɔ tema Newtown no wo mo kyerɛ se wo mo edwiri ho no esiesie ho no kama na mmom no adwadifo no wo mo de mo kɔ bia ya ɛhote ahoye kama enkonko di dwane wo ho na mo ho so yesanso ba na se ho so aye fi a enye panifo ne mo ewo bi kapa na panya wodi anim se wonko ye dwirigui edi nsem sei ena chi dwa.
The thing that we are going to use, we are using here It's not good. When you go to the malaria center, you see the typhoid. Seriously, this is the process that they do, but the government is not good. So I have to do government nights for them. Then they start their projects. I personally invite them to my office direct from the mayor. So we have to do some exercise here. So they accept it. No, we are going to do the place neat for them. They will start their business here. So we have to do the place neat before they will start this process of the fish. I don't know. We'll locate them from this side. When we finish, they will demarcate them. Everybody plus ensure they start doing their business. So we spoke with them. Yes. So we have trucks here. We have container. We have our grader.
Na already in some to John and Richie and a one ton and nam no so ho e de adesrede e to eye empany for you say mo de maba mo be kan ya te ase ye be free ha akonya mum ma ye kwan na yentumi enyi enam na yakora ni na enko bia e fofra ye kwose na be enam no ense na ye moka
Yes, Abo Mothers FM.
Intermediate before one more eton and nam Ewatama Newtown, one more and Kotia, Modia the Sredia to penny for him.
Yafe ni enchiremu ewapono East Mountain ne yanko 30 mile north eho ena krobo nursing and midwifery training college no ewo te krobo na enye yellow krobo na menya krobo enye eastern krobo asem ne yake we 30 mile north krobo nursing school na yake na adusuafo no ekire se break akre ne yema nhyada enkoye wo school mo kane na nkemo weduane prince adakro sesi akwa mienu na mienu no baako beba no miensa anwumre na baako aba na watwe anwumre na chese kom na wode te classroom ho enu echi no omoma kwan ya omkọ clinicals ekosua de na uwie clinicals na be 2 weeks bi ansa na wa be school na nkaka na ansa na be school na so school fees no nyemu ohanchichemu eduasa 30%. Headmistress say we pay them 80%. Nti akoba se bia wa na odi pa kakra de hwe ho a na je se wuti ate we na desuafo na keka ni nyina bom se we de insuo age aponkyerani atano nti omoje wo na wo na omoje na nya bete e wa campus wo ye di kojana de bubo muti trese girigirigidi pa ama police for crab be mu be kire inipa ni mienu na no kra hwanyan asem ni mu ama dede yo no anu ayeden pa oma ya to aso ma nenso no demonstration no eda so a ejina mu dendenden na kwedu a wo bo no omo de bo omo principal maame Helena Dwamena so no hye kire ama hoye asori e wo school mu ho yentie adesuafo ni bi.
As now we are the only students in school. Our colleagues are in their house doing clinicals. We go for clinicals for a month and weeks, barely 2 weeks to come to school, prepare and come to school. We have others that are that are paying their school fees themselves. How do you expect someone to gather a sum of almost 4,000 to come to school within 2 weeks? Where is the person going to get it from? Let's take, for instance, if the person's parents are not alive and the person is doing it by him or herself, what other options are you giving out to the person to go and do?
Because Minister of Health and Finance unless my ministry school students.
Semester we did a demonstration on our food. It was internal, but now it's even worse. Last semester was even good. We were feeding 3 times daily, but now it's 2. And even the 2, lunch is 3 o'clock. How about supper? Because we are going to stay in the school with empty stomach from morning to afternoon. Sometimes 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. That's when our lunch is ready. So imagine if lunch is ready around 3. When will supper then will be ready? Supper, sometimes you go for supper around 8 p.m. We pay the amount and the treatment you are getting is not tallying.
So is it girls with free or more hostel and by boys D and the blue so is so hard thing. Students call a SSB award school and chain and I send a kubunsu.
Mothers FM, yes, some pa.
Krobo Nursing and Midwifery Training College adesiafo bi na yete won kano na yeyese nkane headmistress no principal ne mpanyimfo bi e wo school mo ebedi nkomo nanso ya principal ne friend wanfa ama semprofo bopunu no mo anfa na akwa administration won so matutum a chese yestress aban brem na asumdwe nso emranya abotremeko madaroma Mama yentwa ye ho emra tew ye ba ensempi wo hono ma no so ye de ebesom na ye na ase
na yin kan fasida Makelele clothing and na chese womo adama enume womo epian ama ye hunu dwam wo pe eye enta de papa ne entuma papa dia na chese lace India for womo lini omo de pam sari bi wo pe bi dia na chese Kelele clothing and enume mekanfo ede amount wo pe nya wo be pam eye emema suita ni na so wo benya e wo Kelele clothing na nese entuma no nko a na womo ewo ede ma na mum no wo pe so womo pam ankasa ede show edwidwa wo papa dia ema no jese bubu dress bay na chese omo de dwudwa kama kaba and slate ni na wo e wo bi e wo digital embroidery na chese ni na no AI ene ye ni na e de ama so are ase ni na ye betumi dwudwa ne kama e de ama kaftan ahodre mema e de ye omo engagement ni na no ye ne kama e de ama nti Kelele clothing obehu ye chia kwan e wo North Kanish the mod bus stop e ho e na ye wo and oni ye ni enkomo e wo 0541 849 257 0541 849 257 and that's 0268 866 697 Kelele clothing or say elevate your style with us today all the way naturally nina Kelele clothing one more adama ebusia for one more and API and enumere
aha Kelele clothing me mama kwaba yeni etimi ma wa ho fedanso ewo wontade hyemu esan say ye wo fabrics asoto nyina bi wa ha African print Kelele clothing die ye san so pam the show kama ye pam e mane mema kaftan corset agbada e mane mema die nyina embroidery bubu suit kaftan political suit nina ye pem bi wa ha ye kire kwan ewo North Kanish the mod bus stop and now with dear friend it was 0541 849 257 and now 0268 866 697
Adishmaima KASE3 Ghana Limited ye jumakuo bia ye si dan ton dan eton sase krojia mansubia ni ho woto yen sase bia ebeya wo dia forever and ever wabusia da chinti enunti KASE3 say tia 10% pay na afa hiase wo si dan no na wo chia ne kakra KASE3 nkwa na won sase wo the whole Ghana ye won sase bi wo Greater Accra baby to say Atoman Kofi Donko Mampehia Danjra Kaswa Obom Dodowa Kofi Kwe Ayite Kote Weja Broadcasting Ani Bebre Sayako Central Region in Sua Cape Coast Ayensudo J Krodia Portin Gomwa Kwe Krum Yankwa Eastern Region Ensawam Kwasinyako Afram Krum Afayentufa Na Yanko Northern Region Yobi Watamale Nyampala Ensasano Bay UDS Campus Ewa Tamale Kumase Kwanso Yesanso so wɔ executive wanzo de ɛda kurom pɛɛ na wosan so pɛ asase yantam ɛde ayɛ kua anefu a yɛwɔ bi wɔ the whole Ghana ɛno nti hwehwɛ yɛ kyerɛ kwan ɛwɔ the main office Accra Tesano yɛne Ghana Telecom University and our police training school ɛne di nhwɛ animu wɔka so amalam kwantempɔn no so amanfrom yɛne resurrection asɔre ne di nhwɛ animu na yɛkɔ amasaman so a opposite the Central Mosque wɔ amasaman hɔ a ɔbaa krowa office no ɛwɔ site hɔ pɛɛ afei Ashaiman yɛne lorry station no ɛne di nhwɛ animu frɛ yɛn 0302 963740 ebiem 0302 963740 KASE Estate Ghana Limited yɛnti usubetumi asidan.
Mothers TV, abefo tintan video no Facebook and afa YouTube ye twegu ewo ho Mothers TV Ghana ewo YouTube no eso and afa Facebook ye Mothers 102.7 FM Accra. We like wa comment wa share a day amame. Na yanto ansem no so emfa ema odia Ghana Mampany His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Wa betina benwa so ne gina se galamse ne wo pese atu otwa na manfo etwetwa nwua egu ebiso so essence nyina aye galamse kwan bi so na chese ha adwene papa Nintino of a Jumedi Biso was it planting tree for life. Ntiana ye dua enua senya beya ebe tumi aboa na ewiemu sachrenso so ne esasa na be di yare dodo na eba ni na to etwa na obo wiemu ewa abesoa ewa ahafo ano southwest ewo eya santimante mu dia na nan matankonya wo ho emprempren wo mode ensema tudwani na ne se forest guard mpanyin forest guard ya pa wo se wo emmo kwaye ne ho ban no eya de wo mo a wo fa kwati kwan so etwa enua yi egu no wo mo na abo eye forest guard si mutuo ama ebimo eprepra emu edin ye papapa na wodi kru a wo bosompro so nana ya ogemfi na wo sere se empanimfo emra emedum mo san se wo mo bo we mo sem ko ban na wo mo a wo mo fa kwati kwan so etwetwenwa igui eprepra wo mo emprempren wo mo so sere se empanimfo bedum mo ma yenti nsem a nana editudwa
fenye me kwasu nyina tantanta amfe adena nsemu yentimi nkɔ hɔ yetimi nyahwe kofu ya 30 years na gwenya ya fan kofu bi se omunkono nkɔhwe man se nua ne yetwa ne nyina kofu kɔ ya mpa omukɔkɔto omu hɔ abesoa foka ho ene di kri no munya ni pamienu chi wo omunya ni pamienu chi wo mu se pɛ yomu hu ya ansa besoa ni ba kutuo ten wodi tuona kuyakura na chi yakura na obokwa no bai no onu no mututuo omu kwa omukutakutetuo yakwa akwaji tuo be ni nu asemi ensakura ana abatepa police station se dwuma omudia onu akwa wiye wade no akwa no kutatuo
na ya ojemfi the some to asubie mu dia na wasre abanye se wonfa eye asrafo emma mebo ban no enti sapa dia dia amafo bekoso afa kwati kwan so abowe mu e kwa bretunim etwetwa enwa na egu na mampanye ni sade hu na wo hwehwe no ne nsantumi nka be ne sa ne dia forestation na we na nka be yanka yentwa so kra esan se wo mu nheda eni etuo papa bia wo betumi eje aboban ni bi
adesrade amede beto ewura mama ni mu se kane no na falasi for soldiers anu bo kwan no ho bai se soldiers no omo astopo diama we nyina bo ya soldiers ye bia ni jana ye bia ne kwa bia ni nyini kura na omo twa etita bi falasi ya kwa kwaji ebie nua masa bi anya ho faso na aban na anya ho faso no ene himfo anya ho faso no se ya kura se ya bemobu se wo enipa na wo okotwa adua no wo ya wo se komede me no okutatu ye fre ye sre ewura jo mama say the nyamedi se no omwa na emomu no forest for no omo soldiers omo fanya adwuma makwa no ho bai enya sa de anua na ye dua no me be free sempa so bia nyu wo so ye ja bia
ye somosompa
eno ye wodi kru a wo no enewo eye bosompro so ewo eye ahafo no southwest wasante mantemu na ya ojemfi ne ene gogoti
Yanto ansem no so ene mansan da kese yesi won ma ye kan hepatitis en ho asem ne titire oba oman Ghana mu a B ene C no ena mpanyi e kire se ete atese ye papa ne senti ama aban no apao National Viral Hepatitis Technical Working Group ya pao sa ekuyi hontoma e won krampumpuni mantemu na ochiame kwame ojumtuni ochiame kwame okay ono ene ya pao ne se ambassador ya oba be die nim abohu de ro hyew a kire hepatitis ya de no ne ekofa ba ehun sunsanso wunye bia jese yare ekodi ewo pa na mpempi no yemfa ya adwen enkoso na bra technical working group na ye pa ho entoma no Chief Director wo Ministry of Health Ora Desmond Baatan ena ogina soafo no anemu epaw ekuo no hontoma ena wokasa hepatitis B no ekumpa ne titiri B ni C ne de sesi atiati se papa yare ba akwa so bi tin fifire na odne ho twitwiriwa pa na won so wapeke ensa ne yade na so yema ya adwen enko ho.
Today's commemoration draws attention to the burden of viral hepatitis. By the inauguration of the National Viral Hepatitis Technical Working Group provides the mechanism for translating our commitments into coordinated and measurable action. Ladies and gentlemen, viral hepatitis remains a major public health challenge in Ghana. About 3 million Ghanaians are estimated to be living with hepatitis B, while roughly 500,000 may be living with hepatitis C. Many do not know their status because the infection can remain silent for years, even as it progressively damages the liver. Chronic hepatitis B and hepatitis C are major causes of liver cirrhosis and liver cancers. Current estimates place liver cancer as the third most commonly diagnosed cancer in Ghana and the second leading cause of cancer-related deaths. Among men, it is the leading cause of cancer mortality. Much of this burden can be prevented. Hepatitis B can be prevented through vaccination and effectively managed with treatment.
Ora Desmond Baatan, Chief Director ewa Ministry of Health ena yetene kanabra odumtuni okay ochiame kwame ye no ambassador de ama hepatitis no say na dwedi no koy
is to ensure that they reach everyone who needs them, and for that to make sure that we get far as possible and keep partnering with all those who want to support us. Today I officially give you your official appointment as Ghana Health Service Ambassador to or champion for hepatitis, the campaign against hepatitis. Thank you so much, and thank you for accepting to be the champion for this noble cause. Thank you so very much.
Mothers FM, yes, some pa.
Enti sabre hepatitis yare no dia obeboa ka ho asem dindindin eyo chiame kwame
Yegu swetne mu ewa pomodin asra ye dia na Director General Edema Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Africa CDC. Dr. Jean Kaseya or the ensem atujawa bro PM ewa man Ghana mu say na nkomodidie mu no na wode atudwa say ewa say abibi man kasa na yetumi tina say edi yentuma eboy yankasa yentuma anom na ye hwe yatoto nyama senya be yebetumi aye ye nwuro ewa oye abibi mem ha say na yen kraka ye nwuro emfi obi ma so enda nchen so yensan so emfa aye yetumidie no enkata yapomodin eso senya beya amanfo mfi monten so ema mehye eba na pomodin ensem ho titiw ewo sikasem wode infanto ho to dwade na so hwe oman bi te se Algeria imprempren wo no wo nkra enwuo emfi obi ma so isan se wo nkasa tumi yo munwuo anya ha mo chichemu eduwatwe mienu 82% wo mo a na eye ewo oman Algeria mani na eboa etoto nyema ewo apomodin afem na fedwedi afem ewo oman Algeria mu nti beya bibiman yenhwe ensua.
A number of countries, as I was talking this afternoon with Algeria manufacturing 82% of all needs they have. It's even more than some Western countries. Then why are we not buying Algerian product, buying Nigerian product, buying Egyptian product and others for the continent, why we are not supporting manufacturing in Ghana and other places. I think this conversation is ongoing. We managed to put in place what we call the two pillars of the ecosystem. From one side, we have the regulatory aspect with African Medicine Agency, and from another side, we have the African Pool Procurement Mechanism. That will help to have predictable market. And then the last one, in terms of sustainable health financing, we see an increase of domestic resources. We see an increase in terms of health insurance scheme. We see the willingness for more public finance management to better manage our resources, because the wastage of resources is almost around 50% in Africa.
Dr. Jean Kasaya na nsi ho na ma wasa eto aso bi mu dia wase wo hwem prempren dia bibi ma wase yetumi toto nyema titiw ba na HIV yare na fe nyare wa ma ko menu bi a wase mpanifo dwo mu na esi fam ye papa na sika wase ye di hyemu no ye nhwe isan so USAID na nse Donald Trump mampani oba ye wetwam enti es yare ne malaria yare ne na no chese sika bi ye mfi ba bi emma enti mpanifo fo mu nan si wo sene be ya wo metumi enye sika e di ahwehwe sa yare na amanyoma akonkan e di amaye
for external resources. The last point before giving you the floor, following our agenda of Africa Health Security and Sovereignty, is the digital agenda. As I was saying, you will see that when some Western countries, they stopped their funding to Africa, it was not just money, it was not just commodities, it was also data. Out of the blue, ministers didn't have access to critical data for HIV and other diseases. This is why the sovereignty agenda for the health sector is also about the digital transformation agenda.
102.7 Dr. Jean Kasaya nene enekokoti.
Yanto ansem ne so na yemonre mu ewo ahyenkafo no akachie omo ebo entrene pa GPRT fo na nkasa ebo entrene se hwebe nkenkwezi se bosumwe ebewo no omo ba beto ahyentuabo no mo 30%. Wose se one steady a insoni ye yesa kwan ye ba sa unso matutumu from Kaswa to Dobro nanka 10 cedi only 2 cedi abeso so nti wo mtantumu biem ye ne se ye wuo yaka Kaswa no na enti ayesa no ene yebomode a ene GPRT fo ne di nkomo panyi kwantrefo abedi e kire okasama GPRTU Owura Samuel Amoa e de atudwa se omo yese nkomo tum ena aban no afro mo se omunya abotre na omuni omuni nkomo efise nyankopon ya adoma afiada new pricing window beba fuel no ekosro pa diesel no eko almost 18 cedis na petrol no so enam be 14 no so ko 15 cedis nti ano so na nkomo gina dia atum but aban so omunya abotre na enkosi Friday a new pricing window beba next month, which is August 1st August ekono ensa kire ebi betimi aba na se fuel no ye ba be hwan so ekokoba ne saade na ebo no na che so omo na Inti ashenkafo ne kire se omatie di aban ne eka ne se nti oma choke one side ehwe de ebesi fiada nyame ya adoma.
I wasn't around, but then my leadership called that they met, and when they met, they asked them to hold on, and that they are working on things to see towards that the fuel price might come down. But to us, our investigations, prove to us that even the next price window is likely the fuel price may go up again. So we are still holding on, with the decision of this 30% increment proposal to see coming Friday, I believe the next window will open for us to see what will happen at the pump. Then we also know what to do. So that's the latest development. The diesel now is 17 cedis, 78 pesos. Yes, a little to 18 cedis. Petrol is also 14 cedis, I think 95 pesos, a little to 15 cedis. The impact is, now a driver will work and at the close of that, he will not get anything to be taking home. They can't meet their shelves. because the fuel is very, very high. The close of the day, this small money that they've been taking from passengers, they will gather them, then they will use all to go and buy fuel. So that is what is disturbing the business now. Prior to that, there are areas that the drivers even don't want to, try, because when they go and come, they won't get anything. So that is the problem we are facing for now.
Any atwagu ye Ora Samuel Amwa or Deputy PRO Emma GPRTU. Enwechino Ena Duncan Amwa, Executive Director Emma Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, COPEC Ghana. And so Kachre Abaini se or the Obeya Wanyanentem. Na impempi no yese Ghana ye nane fango ewa ha eno ntimi ma fango ne bo ne mafom de kire se ye de dollar ene kokoto nti anya magic bi ewa sa dollar no ho na ye be nane fango okrom ha so still fu abo bedding.
I was of the view that government saw this coming and for which it decided to get some of the refineries, Central and Tor, to process our local crude. But when we met with Tor last week, the indication we got was that they are simply doing a commercial transaction, which is to say that they are paying for real-time prices for the crude, and again, they are also paying in the dollar index. So back to the question of the city. Just a week ago, the city was struggling. If you put that together with international benchmarks going up, the effect is what you are seeing at the pumps. But I am hopeful that the government will come to some decision on how to intermediate so that we do not get to the 19, the 20, and again the 15, the 16 for petrol and diesel. If that happens, I do not see how government could be able to cool it any further because again the city is dragging, international benchmarks also dragging on prices.
Ora Duncan Amwa ena yete nenkano na ashenkafo bi nso adwenkyira omudi to yenim ni.
The fu ane kwan ye minia amoaye enye yizo je se okwa pump na de amoaye enye saka de be pake KASE3 na asi wo se adwuma na ye ne ye mafu what fu enum na ye lodu station next week Monday yo one person one tumo ye so be fe wadwene it say dey adwum line we be kabien to be because na ban who have some now dey no so mu na we yabato consumers so consumers ye consume person ya no se me ye to KASE3 enti abana sisi ni kwaso ebo na obi ye the list about the list dey make answer yeah dey make answer se make answer so I inform make answer street so if national courage and cycle branches
yes ambo Mothers FM
ashankafo ni bi nkomo a omuni yedie eno no
Yankowie ewo amanone ensem emudia oman South Africa emu ene ekwakowie yensem ewo na mampani a wo South Africa mampani Cyril Ramaphosa ena odo ensem bi atudwa nyenyi nara xenophobic attacks a ekoso no a edi ditia abibiman wo mometu ababetene mu ewo oman South Africa mu ayese go back to your country go back na chese munsan komunchi ai munko na ye hu ento yen Ghana for cry nche biara ena mpanimfo edidodo na asanso abeka hu bi na eno na mpani Cyril Ramaphosa etwese ade omugusua etoto niema sanye beya sa attack bro ekoso ni na no eto ebetwa na afin so se wo metu omani ediesi ebiman omadehia hohora amabepiem ewo emai South Africa mu nyina eto betwa yentie mampani Cyril Ramaphosa ne nsem odatudwa ene omototoye ene hyehyem de gu akwam a sanya menina no pese eto etwa na ebibiman enya asomdwe.
Witnessed outbreaks of anti-migrant sentiment and incidents of intimidation and violence directed at foreign nationals, and incidents that have been quite sad and abhorrent, where people have been injured and some people have died and lost their lives, which we as South Africa deeply, deeply regret and mourn. This is fueled in part by misinformation and prejudice, but it draws on a genuine concern among some South Africans about the social and economic burden that is brought upon them by illegal migration. As the South African government, I want to make it clear, we have taken a firm stance against any form of intimidation, vigilantism, or violence directed at people from other countries or other nations.
FM, yes, some pa.
Area ebusia for Mothers TV ya twene mo ho papa ne sentino ya tre ya hye mo sesi ya fa ebibre mu nyina African country bia wosu bia Mothers TV obenya hwe na se bewie peya agi o riskane odikoda no be riskane na frequency a be yusu no 12303 12303 sample rate no 27500 afi polarization horizontal position 26° east Arabsat bad 8 Mothers TV piao yeni edemo no na chese ohwe mother of all media inti riska no dikoda no na niama enkoye emma yede kasebo no esi ejamita enemitin mene
nana aba ejeba semufo abna foku yebua sanso ena tena ene pimpia ene egumu ede emai efoganyo ena pamfo mekuduka wo de atumu e wa befo ntintan fidie no eso ema so enyabre ehweyen ewo hono sorry so ama bompa to bompa DJ Flex wo predodo wono so de dwom aba betua oso sabridie yakramo